What is up, everybody? It is Tuesday night, which means one thing and one thing only. It is time for the Fantasy Cheat Sheet. But before we get into the show, you know what we got to do around these streets.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's just get right into it. What is up, everyone? Let's throw it around the horn to the guys and have what is going on this evening. Jamie, what is up?
Not much. Just winning all my fantasy matches and ready to talk some football.
Jordan, what is up, my dude?
Not too much, man. Ready to get into some stuff from this past weekend. Talk about some waivers as well. I'm excited.
And Raul, what is up, my fellow Californian?
Yes, sir. Doing well. Glad to see all you boys here tonight. I am somehow in every single one of my redraft leagues 3-2, slightly better than mid. Could be worse. So excited for another week of the cheat sheet and to get into week 6 stuff.
I'll get into a couple of my records later because those records depended on certain things that happened that you guys are already planning on talking about. So, here we go. The news. There's some bad news and one we'll see what people think news. So let's get right into the bad news first. San Diego Chargers, yes, the San Diego LA Chargers, whatever you want to call them. Omarion Hampton, running back, is out on the IR. So he's out for a minimum of 4 weeks. I heard it's more like 4 to 6 weeks. We will be talking more about replacements later. But, Jamie, in general, what does this do? Do you think they go back to passing it more? What does this do to the overall game plan?
Yeah, it's going to definitely hurt them. They're going to have to pass it because they're already on their third, fourth string running backs.
And Jordan?
Same. I expect them to lean on Herbert more. The receivers are all healthy, so you got to go with your strengths right now. And their strength, offensive line banged up as well. A couple of tackles hurt. Joe Alt was out. Lean on your quarterback. You're paying him a bunch of money. You got some weapons out there, so I think you see the passing game kind of flourish.
And Raul?
Yeah, but I agree with what both the guys said, and if anything, maybe the short area targets for Keenan Allen or Ladd McConkey go up, and maybe QJ starts to take a little bit of a step back as that, the protection fails around him, and the play action game isn't as threatening without that run. So it'll be a massive hit to the Chargers, but I think Herbert is good enough to overcome the situation.
All right, so I'm going to put this up on the screen just 1 second. But I will say I have talked to Meatball a few times, or a lot, but I do know that what I'm about to put up is because of the four of us. So thank you, Meatball. This attributes to the four of us in lightening up his Tuesday night. Meatball became a member. Thank you, Meatball. And hopefully we succeed tonight in making you happy with our takes. Do me a favor, Meatball. Put that trade in that I told you about, that you talked to me about earlier today. Put it in here. I have a feeling a couple of them are going to agree, but I'm just curious on more people's opinions. All right, let's get right into that one. And then we have, I just want to make sure we have the other one set up before. Yeah. All right. Antonio Gibson, torn ACL, out for the season, obviously, with the torn ACL. They were using a three-headed monster in New England. I don't think you can call it a three-headed monster if it's three running backs, but they used a three-headed structure with Travion Henderson as the number 3, Gibson, and then Ramondre. Jamie, you know where I'm about to take this. Are they finally going to unleash Travion Henderson?
They have to. I thought it was going to happen last week, but now that there's only 2 running backs in that backfield, he's got to get going. They got to start using Henderson more.
All right, Jordan. I see it in your eyes. I kind of agree with you, even though I don't think it's the right decision. Go ahead.
I don't think they're gonna unleash him just yet. And I guess it all depends on the definition of unleash. He's gonna get more work, but I think Ramondre will still be the number one guy. I mean, Ramondre fumbled twice last week and still managed to get most of the work. So if that didn't stop it, Gibson's injury, I don't think propels Henderson above him in the pecking order just yet. If Ramondre continues to stink, maybe. But as of now, going into this week, I still think Ramondre is the number one. He's going to get majority of the carries. And Henderson will get some catches, but I still think Ramondre will be the starter.
Roll.
I think I am leaning towards Jordan's side. I think even if Henderson gets more carries that are now vacated by the injury to Antonio Gibson, I don't think there's anything to indicate it's going to be a meaningful fantasy role just in the short term. I don't think in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. I think it's way too early to start jamming him into lineups. And even Mike Vrabel came out and said, like, yeah, like we want to get Henderson going. I want to see what he could do on those kick returns, man. Like, I just don't know what's going on. And like maybe if Ramondre fumbles another 15 times, then Henderson can sniff like 7 carries. But it's a weird situation, man. To get your good players involved, but
All right.
still pessimistic for now.
So this might be the best episode for Meatball to become a member. Because you guys know that on the show sheet this says mini rant during Monday Night Football, so there's gonna be 2 rants. There might be 3. Mike Vrabel, stop with the smelling salts. Stop ramming your head against the wall in the locker room. Use Travion Henderson like you should. Okay, I was going to bring up the quote, but you brought it up, which is fine. I'm going to put him in his kickoffs. That's why I disagree with you, Jamie. They need to. It's going to go from like whatever it was, 40-something% freaking. It's going to be like 70-30. He's going to fumble 1.5 more times than average a game, and they're still going to give him the damn ball because freaking what's his name is freaking stubborn. I just think it honestly also has to do with the fact of him just being a rookie and veterans get, you got to pay your dues. I think that's part of it with Vrabel. I'm not 100% sure, but it's definitely not what all of us rookie diehards, Jamie, that sat there and dove into all the tape like I did and I know you did. All the dynasty junkies, like the 3 of us, me, you, and Raul, we all thought that Travion was going to have more of a play in this game. I did not think that it would take Antonio Gibson getting hurt to have this argument. But other than that, I mean, I just don't understand what else it's going to take for Travion to get the run this year. It might not happen, and that's what scares me. Okay. Now, Joe Burrow goes down in week 2 or whatever, and I said then that they were going to trade for a quarterback. Okay, I think we all did. Then I heard Kirk Cousins, but I remember Jordan specifically saying Kirk Cousins wasn't going to happen because of the contract. Then I said they need to trade for Jameis Winston because at least with Jameis Winston, our fantasy lineups would succeed. Then I hear today that they did trade for him. But then I heard after the trade that New York didn't even get a call for Russell or for Jameis after starting Jackson Dart. So who would they freaking try to go get? Joe Flacco? Yes, you heard that right. The Bengals went and traded for the guy that got benched for Dylan Gabriel. I don't normally throw it to him 3 times in a row, and I shouldn't have. But it'd be disrespectful of me to not let Jamie go first. So, Pirogue, do it justice.
Yeah, so this was a smart move by the Browns, getting rid of the player that's not going to help them lose games. Like, the Browns aren't going anywhere anyway, so why have a veteran on the team? The Bengals, they want to salvage their season. at least until Joe Flacco comes back. So this could be a good thing for them.
Joe Burrow comes back.
Oh, yeah, Burrow. So anyway, this is what the only quarterback in the history to be on 3 teams in the same division.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. This is definitely going to help Jamar Chase. It's definitely going to help Higgins in their passing attack. So if you own those 2 guys, just be blessed that you actually have a guy that can throw them the ball. And it's not going to help this week because I don't think they're going to play Flacco this week. They're just going to have him sit this week and then start every week up to that when Burrow comes back.
All right, Jamie, I appreciate that conversation. But Jordan, will you put some respect on this freaking talk?
I don't know if this is a guaranteed upgrade. I mean,
That's
this
what I think.
like Flacco just got benched because he couldn't help the Browns out. He stunk terribly. Some of the similar. I mean, obviously Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are better weapons, but offensive line stinks in Cincinnati. They can't get a running game going. At least in Cleveland, they were running the ball successfully. I don't. I'm not 100% sold that Flacco is going to be this huge upgrade. Browning turned the ball over. That's some of the same problems that Flacco was having in the short time that he started so far this season. I think it's going to be. It may be refreshing for that first week or two, as new guys joining. It's new energy, new things of that nature. Jamar Chase will be happy because he's obviously sick of Browning right now. If you look at him on the sidelines, but it's gonna wear out because Joe Flacco eventually just turns back into who we all know him to be. And so for now, I think it'll probably be good enough for somebody to maybe be able to trade Higgins if he has a good game or two, because I don't see him being able to sustain his production with the backup quarterbacks. But I guess it's something. They felt like they had to do something, so they did it. But we'll see how it works out. I'm not 100% sold that it'll be this thing to save their season. Nobody ever said we're going to get Joe Flacco to save our season. So I don't think
No,
that.
Indy didn't think that, and it almost happened. Okay, Raul, I am going to specifically have you answer this question. Will Flacco throw it to Brown more?
Dude, Meatball is on a tear right now. Just before he had a comment about Flacco behind that O line being a massive worry with his lack of mobility, and Chase Brown is perhaps wish castingly one of the players I do see an upgrade because yes, Flacco, Browning, will there be much of an upgrade? I don't know, but I think the way in which they will operate will be slightly different. I think Flacco will get the ball out a little bit more, if not complete some of those deep passes in garbage time that we saw Browning do. So Chase Brown is that check down option. Noah Fant could be, a check down option. One of those tight ends eventually is going to be Fant, Gesicki, Drew Sample, Tanner Hudson, et cetera, et cetera. But Chase Brown is one specific guy that I could see that PPR scam come back. I think T. Higgins, Jordan, you were touching on T. Higgins, someone I would look to sell on the news. Jamar Chase is in an interesting position because he just had that blow up game. Wait and see, or perhaps curious what you guys think about Jamar Chase. But Chase Brown, I could see a sneaky little bit added to his profile in the fantasy sense,
Yeah. All right. So let's get on to the rest of the show. All right. I'm going to keep it nice and simple to start. Monday Night Football takeaways. Kansas City Chiefs 28. Jacksonville Jaguars 31. Jamie, go.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about Brian Thomas Jr. Like, the dude showed out when he was needed. He had that clutch 33-yard grab, and that brought it down to that go-ahead drive that set up Trevor Lawrence for that game-winning touchdown run. So that right there, that play flipped the whole game. And it wasn't just that one moment, though. Like, BTJ led the team in targets, catches, and yards, and you could see him regaining that wide receiver role that he should have in that offense. So yeah, like he's still cleaning up some of that stuff he needs to work on, separation, route consistency. But when the game was on the line, he actually delivered. So despite only scoring 12 fantasy points, this is actually a good sign for him that we can maybe start putting him back in our lineups, at least as a flex option going forward.
I'm just gonna say this because I have him in that big league I'm in now. He didn't give me any points because of the weird scoring, but I was going to drop him. No, because it's literally touchdowns and yardage 110 only. That's it. I was planning on getting rid of him tomorrow on drop day. I'm not going to drop him now because I do think he's on the way of being all right. Jordan, go ahead with this one because I am in 100% agreement. That's all I'm saying.
I felt like last night watching the game, I had to have a little funeral for Isaiah Pacheco's prospects as a legitimate fantasy option with the Chiefs. Um, they just don't run the ball. And when they do, they're using Kareem Hunt in the red zone. They each had 7 carries. Hunt turned his into 2 touchdowns. Obviously, he got the more valuable touches in the offense. Pacheco, man, it's like he averaged 5 yards a carry, so it's not like he was getting stuffed at the line. They were having success, but Mahomes is the leading rusher once again on the team, and they're just not going to use him. He's healthy. Last year, coming back from the injury, obviously he didn't look right. It looks like he's healthy now. He's running with the same aggression that he did before the injury. It's just they're just not going to use him, and at this point, like you can't rely on him anymore unless, knock on wood, I don't want this to happen, but if Mahomes was to get hurt, then maybe they would use the running backs more. But as currently constructed with Rashee Rice coming back, they're still getting Xavier Worthy involved. Tyquan Thornton is looking like a target. I just don't see them going back to him when they like to use Kareem Hunt, who still looks like he has a little bit of juice left as well. So, and with bye weeks coming up, they're going to have some weeks with 6 teams on a bye. Maybe you'll have to use them, but other than that, bench them. And in shallower leagues, you might be able to just cut bait with him if there's somebody else more appealing on the waiver wire.
I'm cutting him tonight. I'm bluntly saying it. I'm dropping him tonight, and I'm dropping him for someone in a different position that I'm not going to say who because they're on the show sheet later. That's all I'm going to say. All right, Raul, what is your takeaway, sir?
Yeah, my takeaway, and really it's a question, is are the Jacksonville Jaguars getting their money's worth on second overall pick, Travis Hunter? The metaphor allegory that I want to use is Jags kind of feel like that fantasy manager that has traded away one elite player to get 2 mid players. In this case, both mid players are called Travis Hunter, right? Because he's kind of mid and uninvolved on offense, and he's just an undersized corner. Now, the more defensively astute amongst us might be able to tell me that he's actually been playing well at corner, but from all accounts, he's just kind of he's average. He's been average on the defensive side of the ball. On offense, he's got 16 receptions on 24 targets so far this year. 6 catches and 8 targets came in week 1. He played 65 snaps across offense and defense versus the Chiefs, starting on both sides of the ball, which is, that's a nice little niche piece of trivia. But he played more defense than wide receiver in weeks 2 to 3. He played very little. It's like situational. The Jacksonville Jaguars gave up the 5th overall pick, the 36th overall pick, and a 26th first. But really, like I was starting with, seems like limited impact on both sides of the ball. Focusing on offense, you still see Travis Hunter not know the play on multiple. He's asking the receiver next to him. He doesn't know when he needs to motion over. The Jaguars themselves just littered with penalties. It's this team could be really freaking good. They're 4-1, and I think they keep shooting themselves in the foot, especially on offense with the false starts, especially the delay of games. I think his wide receiver skills are apparent, guys. The talent is apparent. Whenever he gets the ball in his hand, he's showing elite yak. amazing contested catch skills for a small guy. I think his contested catch ability, his ball skills are really up there with some of the best in the league. Played his first snap in 2 wide receiver sets yesterday, like first snap the entire season in 2 wide receiver sets. And I don't know. It just seems like a lot of jumble. It's a jumbled mess. I would love if they could simplify the game down for him and put the second overall pick in a position where he can make the most difference on the field. And for me, that's a full-time wide receiver and very situational defense. Of course, the team is 4-1. They're not really incentivized to change right now, but I just don't think they're getting the best out of the investment they've made in, a very, very talented player.
Yeah, the only time he did good was a 40-yard freaking catch, that son of a gun. All right. Do I have to give a take for Monday Night Football?
Mini Rant.
Mini Rant.
All right. I'm throwing my challenge flag. You want to know why I'm throwing a challenge flag? I'm challenging the goddamn Chiefs to get off their ass. And the hat's gone. All right. I got a couple things I need to rant about. One, you're up 14-0, and you blow this game. Okay? There was many things that got blown in this. And those are the 3 things I'm going to bring up. Not in particular order. 1, 99-yard interception to freaking Devin Lloyd for a touchdown. I won a league because of that, and I don't give a shit. It was that embarrassing for my football team. It was that horrible. You freaking can't. Okay, Jordan, what is something we say about freaking that team about their wide receivers? They're all what?
Skinny, small,
and fast.
Yeah.
And you can't catch Devin Lloyd? Come on. Freaking, you're telling me that Xavier Worthy can't catch Devin Lloyd? That other receivers can't catch Devin Lloyd? Devin Lloyd freaking isn't that fast.
It's funny because they showed the 40 times. It was like 4.21, 4.25, 4.27. Tyquan Thornton as well. Yeah. Sorry. Continue.
No, you're 100% right. Okay. Then, after we're going to try to win, which I'll talk about the last touchdown in a second. Then we're going for the win, or not. We're trying to get back into the game, and a special teams penalty, which was our 5th special teams penalty of the game. It nullified a good return. It's nullified more than 1 return. There was 2 returns that got nullified. There was a play on them that we nullified. On that last drive, what people don't remember, or I forgot until a little bit earlier today, on the last drive, we kicked the ball out of bounds, trying to kick it in the landing zone, and gave them the damn ball at the 40-yard line. That's inexcusable, especially for Harrison Butt Kicker, who normally can do something right when it comes with his foot. Okay? I don't understand these mistakes when it comes to you're not going to be able to win football games like this. Last year, 15-2, 11 of those wins were 1-score games. All 3 of our losses are, guess what? 1-score games. Now, you may be one of my favorite players on the team, but no one is going to be exempt from me getting mad at them during my rant. Chris Jones, what the heck were you doing on that freaking touchdown? I understand he fell, and if anyone wants to say that it was on purpose like Jared Goff last year, they can kick rocks, because that was not on purpose. Trevor Lawrence tripped over his goddamn hair and fell on his ass and had to pick himself up and get in the end zone, while freaking Chris Jones is over meandering like I just saw a cheeseburger in Canton, Ohio at George's. That's not gonna happen. Okay? I just don't understand. It doesn't seem like we want to win, and it's frustrating beyond belief. rant over. That went longer than I wanted. Now I can't even wear my Chiefs hat.
If that one was the mini rant, I can't wait for the rant of the week.
That is the mini rant. All right, let's just get straight into it. Jamie, who's your fake? I mean, your real. My bad.
My real is Mr. Athletic. Theo Johnson, man. That dude is built like a Madden creative player. Like 6'6", 260, runs a 540. And the dude like jumps like no other. Like he's dunking over those linebackers. Like dude is a walking mismatch, man. He's starting to really click with Jackson Dart, and now with Neighbors out for the season, he's gonna get all that love. So like this doesn't feel like just some random hot week. It feels like a start of something real. Remember in college, he kept Tyler Warren on the bench for a whole year at Penn State. So this dude's got talent. Like that athleticism is elite, and that opportunity is there, and that chemistry is cooking. So Theo Johnson might actually be a must start on a weekly basis from here on out.
All right, I got one question for you before Jordan goes. What is his Raz?
1 million.
You and your okay. You said it in your first set. You said it in your first two sentences of your take. You and your damn athletic tight ends.
Love him, man. That's what shows upside.
Yes, you love them like I like cheeseburgers. Jordan, take it away.
Yeah, I'm with Jamie on this, man. I believe Theo is a real. When the Giants try to throw the ball down the field, that doesn't go well. So they're sticking to the short area stuff. Even Daniel Bellinger had 4 targets, turned that into 52 yards. So short area guys, obviously Wandale will get his targets, but I think Theo Johnson in the red zone is that big target, athletic target like Jamie talked about. So with tight end looking the way it's looking, injuries, guys underperforming, I definitely think he's somebody that you can plug in with bye weeks coming up and stuff like that. That'll be consistent. The Giants will likely be playing from behind in a lot of games, so they'll be doing a lot of throwing. And he's one of those guys that is building a good rapport with Dart so far.
All right, Jamie, who is your fake player of the week?
My fake player is Ryan Flournoy. This is a guy I was all excited about last year as a deep rookie stash in Dynasty. He finally went off 6 catches, 114 yards, and he had 2 carries on the ground for 10 yards. He had his moment, but let's chill out on his breakout talk because CD Lamb, Turpin, they were basically on vacation. Tolbert was non-existent. Pickens was locked up by Sauce Gardner almost all game. So Flournoy, he got all the spotlight. It was a fun game for sure, obviously, but this feels more like a one-night stand than a long-term relationship. Like, don't go chasing last week's lightning in a bottle. This really does feel like it's less than a breakout, honestly, because I don't think we're going to see it again. And it's kind of like when you win a 10-leg parlay and you start thinking you're on a lucky streak. It's not going to happen again anytime soon. So let's enjoy the highlights this week, but don't bet your lineup on a sequel because Lamb's going to be coming back soon. So I don't even think Flournoy's worth a pickup.
All right, Raul, is Brian Fortnite real or fake?
Ryan Fortnite is, as Jamie said, very fake. I mean, Jamie really covered it all. I do want to say that this might be the highest ever average RAS for a real and fake, because Ryan Flournoy himself is also an athletic beast with a 9.88 RAS, but like Jamie said, injuries everywhere. I think the Pickens factor you pointed out was also was very matchup dependent, right? Pickens was locked up by Sauce Gardner, except for one long touchdown play, only 2 catches. Left the other side of the field completely open for Brian Fortnite there. So yeah, I mean, if you can even get him for free in a dynasty league, perhaps, but I wouldn't go chasing him with any kind of conviction.
All right, Jordan. We have talked about many a North Carolina running back, and you decide to talk about a different one for your reel. So will you take it away, sir?
Yes, and this is going to be a reel for a couple of reasons. Less about the production, but more about opportunity. And I'm just talking about Michael Carter. Obviously, going into last week when we all heard Trey Benson was going on IR, there was this conversation: DeMarcado or Michael Carter. Carter was inactive before, and DeMarcado was the third down back already activated. Um, Go pick up Michael Carter if he's still available. He showed this past week he's the top option out of the backfield. Now the game script was neutral. They weren't trailing in the game, so that led to more of a run style, but he still got 5 targets. DeMarcado didn't help himself by breaking the long run, then dropping the ball at the goal line. So they lost the game basically because of that idiotic play. But back to Carter, I think any running back who is quote unquote the starter for the Cardinals gets work. They're not going to be efficient with the work, and this is another reason why Carter's a real to me. His average per carry is gonna suck, but he's gonna get the work. He's gonna have chances to fall into the end zone, and he's gonna get targets out of the backfield. And for somebody that you can pick off waivers for the next 4, maybe 5 weeks till Benson comes back, it's worth taking a chance on. You're going to need him with bye weeks. He can fill in serviceably during that time.
Absolutely. And Raul, go ahead.
Yeah, Jordan, I completely agree that's real, and I like that you mentioned the opportunity that he could even step to. I mean, he already had 23 opportunities, 18 rushes, 5 targets, but the DeMarcado factor, DeMarcado being that third down back, if he sees his work scale down at all, as one would probably expect. I know there's a bit of a weird situation going on with Gannon and him screaming at DeMarcado on the sideline, then getting fined $100K. So maybe they go out of their way to whatever it is. Michael Carter has shown through college and his brief time with the Jets and bouncing around like practice squads that he can handle a passing down role. So I do expect any snaps vacated by DeMarcado to go to Carter. Man, this offense is really sticky. I think there are multiple different incidents that you could point to say why they lost that game, including a botched snap that seemed to concuss Kyler Murray, and then perhaps the most ridiculous touchdown of the year that was scored by Tyler Lockett. But I think Michael Carter is going to be real. Will he be more than a low-end RB2 that you're kind of hoping for a touchdown to really, make a difference? Probably not, but get him off waivers. If you hopefully picked him last week, I think you have certainly a good asset for the next 4 to 5 weeks while Benson's on IR.
All right, Jordan, take it away with your fake, sir.
I'm going to keep this short, man. Xavier Hutchinson, 3 targets for the last 4 weeks. Just so happened that this week against Baltimore's poor defense, he turned it into 18 yards and 2 touchdowns. Nothing really more to say on that. CJ Stroud was giving out touchdowns like Oprah last week. Jalen Noel got 1. Hutchinson got 2, So it's just one of those things where fluke week. He's playing a large portion of the snaps over 65 the last couple of weeks, but he's only gotten 3 targets. I don't see that really changing much. And if their defense with the way it is, they're going to be in a lot of games where they won't have to throw as much. So just leave Hutchinson where he is on waivers.
All right, Jamie. This is mine, but Jamie knows who was my favorite wide receiver coming out of the draft class last year. One of them, Xavier Hutchinson and Marvin Mims. So when I saw that you had to put my boy after a great performance, when I saw him score the touchdown, I got all giddy. Then I see that you put him as a fake. And at first I thought you put him as a real, and I got really giddy. And then it was like you took my cheeseburger away.
I'm
After
have to get
being at George's until midnight. Don't take my cheeseburger. But, Jordan, You are 100% right. You want to know the real reason you're right? And I'm using your take as a piggyback. There's one real reason you're right. Because Xavier Hutchinson isn't the fake. Even though you're right that he's a fake, Xavier Hutchinson isn't the fake. It's the entire offense. That's not going to happen again. CJ Stroud is not going to happen again. It's fake. That whole thing was fake. And there's some, like, it's, I know it's going to get talked about later, something about Baltimore, but Houston was fake in general. I mean, Nick Chubb got a touchdown. Nick Chubb looked like parts of the game looked like old Nick Chubb.
He did.
Xavier Hutchinson scored. All these guys got catches. Fake, period. Raul. Let's see if I can make sure I got this right. Okay, Raul. Take it away with your reel.
I put this into the show sheet and then I was like, man, there were some great player performances, but I wanted to be 100% on with my prediction this week. So my reel is going to be the Miami Dolphins run defense, man. And they are really terrible. Let me just go through the guys who have put up points against them. Of course, we had Rico, Derrick Henry, Dowdle rush for 203 yards on 23 carries and put up 30.9 fantasy points. The previous week, we had both Breece Hall and Justin Fields rush for 81 yards apiece. What a strange coincidence. Fields had a rushing touchdown. James Cook, the week prior, had 108 rushing yards and 1 touchdown. The Patriots, the firms of Steven, Gibb, and Hender, the sons of them. Ramondre only had 55 rushing yards, but he had 140 scrimmage yards, so we'll give him that one. May had a rushing touchdown that day. And then week 1, Jonathan Taylor, only 71 rushing yards, but Daniel Jones had 2 rushing touchdowns. So I think without a doubt, we know the Miami Dolphins are very weak on the ground, and I think this is going to set up a great waiver wire segment later, guys. Next up on the docket is the Los Angeles Chargers, who just lost Omarion Hampton. So is there an answer to that waiver wire pickup? I'm not too sure yet, but I think if you're able to guess right, you have an absolute smash for next week. So more on that in a little bit. But Miami Dolphins run defense, absolutely really terrible.
Yes, really terrible. I agree. If you have a running back going up against them, start them. And like you said, we'll talk about their running backs of their next opponent later on in the show. But yeah, nothing else to be said about the Dolphins run D. They stink. Start the running backs against them.
Yep.
All right. So who? Oh, yes, I put Jamie on this one for a reason. Will you talk about your fake?
Yeah. Like I said, I kind of want to change it up this week. Drake May fake that he only had 12 points in what was an absolutely weird game, littered with fumbles, turnovers. Was it 6-3 heading into half? It was 3-3 certainly for a very long time. This game was fake for Drake May in the sense that he played like an absolute stud on primetime. I think got his first signature win in his short NFL career, going away to the Buffalo Bills and beating Josh Allen, ending all the 4-0 undefeated teams that we have in the NFL. Like I said, very weird game. 2 goal line touchdowns to the aforementioned Ramondre Stevenson, who also only had 14 rush yards, which I was like, how did he not have more than 13 points? And I was like, oh, that's why. But Drake May, he showed an absolutely excellent connection building with Stephon Diggs, who quite easily could have been, the real in this segment. Viewers will know he was my boom player of the week last week. But really what I love from Drake May, he displayed the ability to create, throw on the run, and elite level. And fantasy-wise, the 3 games before this were all 20+. Don't let the low-scoring game from this one fool you. I mean, I almost wish this was, buried in, the morning slate and people just look at the box score and don't realize that Drake May absolutely lit it up, because could there even be a slight buy low opportunity in your leagues? People think May didn't do too well for fantasy. Can you go buy him? Unfortunately, everyone watched this game and knew that Drake May was absolutely excellent. So I think fake fantasy score, I think he's going to come back with a lot of QB1 performances this year.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Last week he was my real player, and
That's why I gave him to you.
yeah, all he needed was 2 touchdowns and a 75% completion rate to get tied with Tom Brady's 3 consecutive games. He only hit 73.3% completions, but had no touchdowns.
Yeah.
So he didn't show up in the box score, but he really did show composure during the game. He still had accuracy and that game-winning drive. That all shows excitement for Drake May in the future.
Absolutely. I 100%. I think this show is Drake May fan, so I think we all 100% agree. All right. So now it's time for my real player of the week. And I am going over across the pond to the morning, whatever game you want to call it. Too early for me and Raul to watch football game. I got up at halftime. I will admit that. My real player of the week is TJ Hawkinson. And yes, TJ Hawkinson, God, I had it right here, was great with 6.8 fantasy points. He wasn't even the highest scoring tight end on his team. Josh Oliver scored 10.5. So why in the heck am I saying that he's real? Because I don't see him doing great the rest of the season. I think this is what we're going to get from him, kind of like Raul did with the Miami Dolphins, going like this is how they're not doing great. I don't think he's going to do good. Here's the problem: 17.1 target share, 10.9 and 4 in week 4, 25% target share in week 3, 14.3% in week 2, 20% in week 1. Well, he had 2 decent target shares, 20% and 25% in weeks 1 and 3. What do 1, 2, and 3 have in common? No Jordan Addison. Now you bring Jordan Addison back, and he has, since Jordan Addison came back, yes, I know it's Carson Wentz and not J.J. McCarthy, which that's a whole nother argument for a whole nother day, but he had 5.9 points in week 4 and 6.8 points in week 5. Yes, he had 13.4 in week 3. That was his one good game, but that was also the last game of Addison's suspension. With all the mouths they have to feed, with Hawkinson, with Addison, Naylor's still performing well. Jordan Mason's doing good at running back while Aaron Jones is out. And then when Aaron Jones comes back, you're going to have more mouths to feed. So TJ Hawkinson is my real. Jordan, am I wrong?
No, you're correct, and it's rare that I've been getting things right this year. But I definitely feel like I was on the whole Viking secondary pass catcher not being able to be sustained consistently in this offense, and it's just showing itself right now. I agree 100%, man. I don't see that changing. Getting their starter back may be worse for him, depending on how things were going at the beginning of the year. So, yeah, I don't. This is as good as it gets unless an injury happens to one of the receivers.
Josh Oliver is a Paso Robles Bearcat. So he actually went to high school an hour and 20 minutes north of where I am at. And because I'm in that part of California that's kind of spread out, I didn't play because I'm older than him, but like that's a school that, like the schools where I'm at, they actually play, even though it's an hour and 10 minutes apart. If my computer doesn't want to be stupid all of a sudden, I will put up Meatball's question in a second. Everyone's route and target share will go up after Addison keeps going to practice late. That is very true. All right, so for my fake, it is no other than Kendrick Jason Bourne. 49ers wide receiver this week finished as wide receiver 9 on the week with 19.2 fantasy points. for the 49ers. This is kind of an easy pick 'em off the tree, but I did it anyway because I'm going to be talking about my other fake player later. You're basically a fake because you're not going to be starting, kind of like Flournoy. When Pearsall's healthy, if he becomes healthy, please, Ricky, get healthy. Jawan Jennings, who knows when Kittle and Ayuk are going to come back. But this team is ravaged with injuries. The most points he had before this week was 5.8 in week 3. Wasn't even active in week 1. So, Jamie, take it away.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, with the injuries to all the pass catchers, Jennings, Pearsall, Kittle, we're not going to see this again. But I do want to flip the script, and we have to call Mac Jones real. 49 attempts, 340 plus yards, 2 touchdowns. Bourne wouldn't have done that big game without Mac Jones. Who? Mac Jones.
AKA Harvey Dent with that ugly ass suit he wore into the stadium.
Okay. I'm not going to get mad at you for pulling a fast one on me. But next time you pull a fast one on me with that guy,
Mac and cheese, bro.
Mac and Cheese is the only name you can call him on this show. You know the rules. All right. Here we go. With Meatball's question before we get into everything else. This is Superflex. Trade away Stroud for Goff in Superflex Dynasty 6-point TD. I also have May and Young. So basically, he's just asking Goff or Stroud.
In Dynasty, man, if you're in a win now situation, I would probably go after Golf.
I'm going Goff and win now.
Yeah, it's dependent, but that is a substantial age difference that I think.
Yeah.
He
I think-
also has May and Young, so that's the good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about it is it's kind of counterintuitive to trade position for position.
Yeah.
So quarterback for quarterback, you're kind of betting against one of them. Which, yeah, this year I would bet against Stroud.
Yeah. I think we're on
I
the same
agree.
page on that. And then just keep your expectations low if you pick up Bourne off the waiver. Exactly. All right. So moving along. All right, we are there. Okay. You ready, Jamie?
Yes, sir.
It is time for Matchup Mania.
So I wanted to talk about my Browns versus the Steelers. The Steelers are favorites, sitting I've seen between -4.5 to anywhere from -6.5 on most books. Like the Browns, they limp into this game 1-4. The Steelers are fresh off a bye week at 3-1. So yeah, that big rest advantage for the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to be huge. Like Aaron Rodgers, he's been pretty solid and steady, and no one's really expecting Dylan Gabriel to walk into Pittsburgh and go throw for throw with him in that environment. So Cleveland's defense still nasty, but that offense, it's still allergic to scoring points. The Steelers defense gets a big boost with Alex Highsmith coming back, and that's going to add even more juice to that pass rush. So usually the Steelers, they own Cleveland at home, and the last 18 straight wins against the Browns after a bye week or a win. So I don't see Steelers losing. So expect the Steelers to cover. I would take 5.5, 6.5 spread, and like it's going to be a grinded out, low scoring slugfest, if that makes sense. This total sitting around, I think, 37, 38.5. And I'm going to lean that under. So the big question, can the Browns rookie quarterback handle the heat, or does that Steelers defense just eat them alive? And I'm going to go with eat them alive. For fantasy, Rodgers, he should be considered, I'd say, a low-end QB2 for Superflex because the Browns only allow the fourth least fantasy points to quarterbacks. Then you got Jalen Warren coming back, Kenneth Gainwell. Browns are tough against the run, So I'm not really expecting much there, and unless they get worked into that passing game, because the Browns do allow the second least amount of points to the running back position. Metcalf is the only Steelers player that I actually feel comfortable starting. The Browns are very mid against the wide receivers. And then if you have to start Dylan Gabriel and Superflex, that's a desperation play, and that's on you. I wouldn't do it. He's going to have limited passing volume, so don't expect much. Judkins is a must start, though. You can't sit Judkins just based on that volume alone that he's going to get. I'm not starting any of the Browns wide receivers. Keep him on your bench. David Njoku, I'm comfortable starting him. He'll be a steady target. He's got the red zone looks. And then Harold Fannin, similar with that touchdown upside and targets, could be a solid flex play. And that's all I got.
All right. We don't normally give other people's takes during this segment because we have to get through things. But I'm giving the floor to Jordan for a second because here's the thing. He started laughing for a couple reasons, and I think he started laughing for one of the same reasons I do. Okay. Jordan's a Packers fan. Raul's a Rams fan. I'm a Chiefs fan, and yes, I talk crud about them today or whatever. But you being a Browns fan, you talk crap about them every day we talk. Jordan, will you just take it away for a second?
I just laughed at when he was like, "If you start Gabriel, that's just on you." And like,
I was like, what the hell is Gabriel doing to you?
like when you lose your matchup, that was on you. But no, I just thought that was funny. But I agree though. I'm liking Njoku in this matchup and the tight ends in general for Cleveland. Short area targets. Dylan Gabriel can't throw more than 10 yards if it ain't a slant or with them little screens they was throwing to the tight end. So TJ Watt and those guys are gonna be on him. So yeah, it's short stuff.
Bob, I'm gonna put your question up in a little bit because half of your question is gonna be brought up. More than half of your question, 2/3 of your question is going to be answered later. Jordan.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do anything spicy. I'm just going to say
because I've been
crystal
wrong.
ball.
I've been wrong like every week, so I'm trying to go as short as possible here. We talked about this multiple times tonight, so I'm not going to hammer it home anymore. Justin Herbert shines against the weak Dolphins defense. They won't have the same potent run game. They're going to be relying on the passing game. We already established the Dolphins not only run defense, but defense as a whole stinks. They've given up 30 plus points over 3 times this year. The lowest they've given up is 21, and that was to the Jets. So I anticipate the Chargers get back on track offensively, and Herbert is the main reason. If they're going to win, it's going to be because of him. So
I 100% agree. All right, Raul, it is time for Boom or Doom.
Boom or Doom, week 6. For my boom player, we kind of mentioned him a little bit, we kind of mentioned a situation that this player will be stepping into. And my boom player is Matthew Stafford of the Los Angeles Rams going up against the Baltimore Ravens. If CJ Stroud can score 28 fantasy points, just imagine what Matthew Stafford can do against this Ravens defense, which is bottom of the league in many, if not all of the metrics, which is quite a surprise for the Baltimore Ravens. But Stafford has been going off in the last 2 games, 375-3 against the Colts, 389-3 against the Niners just on Thursday Night Football. And honestly, maybe I should have gone with the wide receiver, because the only worry I have about Stafford is his game gets, way out of hand by like the second half, and Kyron Butterfingers Williams, gets his customary goal line touchdown. That's my only worry about Stafford, but I see top 5 upside for him, multiple touchdown game as the Rams absolutely smoked the Baltimore Ravens this week. And the Doom
Doom.
player, the Doom player of the week, I think Garrett Wilson's garbage time scam, PPR scam, so on and so forth, comes to an end this week against the Denver Broncos. Of course, surface level analysis, you got the Pat Surtain matchup. This one, Jamie and I will probably have some further conversations about this, but guys, I just don't think like Justin Fields is not a good NFL level quarterback. Like like as much like if you're a fantasy owner, you just gotta like black out and like wake up with like the 25 points in your whatever your app of choice is. But do not watch the games. All of this is coming in garbage time when the result is out of the question. Fields is simply not a good quarterback going up against what is an absolutely elite defense. They contained Jalen Hurts' ability to scramble in just the previous game. And also, I like the emergence of Mason Taylor, the tight end, as quite a credible target. I think he's leading the position in targets in the last 2 weeks. Again, a lot of that has been garbage time. A lot of that actually came against how much the Cowboys play zone. But I'm not foreseeing a big game for Garrett Wilson this week up against the Broncos. So he is my doom player for week 6.
Awesome. All right. Jordan set me up.
Well, I mean, we've already got a little taste of what to expect earlier tonight. As a bonus, we're not normally blessed with that 2 times in one night, but here we are, closing it out of the whole segment. Mike's Rant of the Week. Take it away, my man.
All right. So I had a theme behind it, and that is there were 6, I can't remember all of them, but there were 6 double-digit comebacks this week. And yes, one of them was the Jaguars against my Chiefs. One was Washington against the Chargers. But there's 2 big ones that I want to talk about. Okay? And first off, here is the first one. Because I am turning in to a non-Chiefs fan for a second. And you'll see why. Are you kidding me? My team can't do nothing. I'm sitting in freaking Miami Beach, Florida, thinking we're going to win because we're playing the lonely Carolina Panthers and freaking Bryce Young. Raul brings it up. You're going to let a guy that the Cowboys couldn't even use at running back run for 200 yards? You're going to let a 5'2" quarterback score a touchdown with 4 minutes left. You were up 17 points at one point. And you're going to blow this? You know what's going to happen? Mike McDaniels is going to be the first coach fired, and he is going to deserve it. You know who doesn't deserve this? Tua, Waddle, and a chain, because as soon as he gets let go, they're going to change the system, and it's not going to be good. But as a Dolphins fan, what the heck are you doing? You can't win like this. Okay. That was just the setup. All right. That was the setup, because if it won't work, I'm not going to be able to do this right. I wanted to delete this. Oh, there it is. Hold on. Hold on real quick. Hold with me. Oh, man, it's not letting me. All right, I'm just going to go to my normal. All right, picture a different team behind me, and you'll know which one it is. I don't know why it's not letting me do it. All right. Raul brought this up earlier. When a team is up 15 points in the fourth quarter, you think you're going to win. When you get interceptions at the end of a game, you think you're going to win. You pay a center to snap the ball, not into the side of the helmet of your quarterback. So you guys know what team I'm about to talk about. Okay? Arizona Cardinals, you blew it again. Okay? But I am going back to a play that was talked about earlier. I can't say your name right, so I'm not going to completely say it. DeMarcado, you could have clinched the damn game. But what do? You decide to run the ball super far and drop the ball, not at the 1 yard line, the 1 inch line, giving Tennessee the ball back. Then you let them go score right away. Then you get an interception, fumble the ball, and you let freaking Tyler Lockett, jump on the ball in the damn end zone and score again. Then, in that situation, freaking Joey Sly misses the extra point, and you still give them a chance to win. Okay? And if you were watching earlier, I said I had a fake player of the week that I did not bring up. You know the other thing you guys did? You know the thing that you guys made look really good? Cam Ward had a couple good passes at the end of the game. But Cam Ward's not who you made look good. You guys, okay, week 1, wide receiver 60. Week 2, wide receiver 57. Week 3, wide receiver 78. Week 4, wide receiver 66. In week 5, you made Calvin Ridley wide receiver 12. Is your secondary that bad? No, Calvin Ridley ain't that good. Calvin Ridley is done. Like, he's not great anymore. I mean, he wasn't great. The only thing he was great at was betting on sports. Okay? I don't understand how they lost this game. There's too many comebacks. Defenses are giving up in the fourth quarter. The NFL is going to start having a pandemic, and my fantasy rosters don't like it because I lost because of DeMarcado, and I lost because of Ridley's last catch. Stop this. My pocketbook and my heart can't take it.
DeMarcado was one of the funniest parts of that whole thing. And Jiminy Cricket, he does, like when you said it, he does kind of look like him.
It's a little twiggy.
So we do have a few questions in the chat. I don't know if you want to hit those up.
I'll get them right now. Okay, we'll do the waiver wire one, and then I will do this one, and then we'll do the read. What's up, Andrew? Darnold, Tua, or Mac Jones? I have a feeling Purdy's going to be back, though. It looks like he might be. Darnold, Tua, or Mac Jones? Raul.
It looks like Tua against the Chargers, Mac Jones if he plays against the Bucks, and Darnold. I remember that was against the Jaguars D. I mean, if Mac Jones starts, I would go Mac Jones.
Yes, if Mac starts, I go Mac, but if not, I'm going Darnold over Tua.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that one.
Yeah, I have right now. I know it's early, but Mac Jones at 20, Darnold 21, Tua 22. So all close. But Raul mentioned earlier, if you can go out and get a Stafford, I got Stafford top 12 this week.
All right.
Weird stat. Niners lead the league in passing yards and have only scored passing touchdowns so far. Not a single rush touchdown.
That is weird, especially with CMC in the
Right.
backfield.
CMC's
All
like a fantasy. Sorry, Mike. But he's
No,
a
you're
fantasy RB3 and a fantasy wide receiver 1 in one player.
All right, there's a couple more questions that I'm going to hold off on for a second. I'll get straight to the waiver because they're part of waiver wires. Let's get right into the ad read, and then we'll get right into waiver wires so we can do those questions. All right, go ahead and use our promo code GF2 on our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. It helps everybody out, and it'll help you out. You get up to $1,000 bonus bucks in your first deposit. Like I always say, if you play fantasy Underdog best ball in the offseason, 84.237% time you'll be in a draft with Jamie. And there's also over-unders for every major sport, MMA, boxing, soccer, baseball, hockey started tonight. I'm in the middle of one of those right now for hockey. So go use the promo code GF2 in capital letters and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. All right, Jamie, why don't you take it away with your? I'm gonna go Jordan first. Jordan, will you take it away?
Yeah, man, I'm going with Mason Taylor. We've mentioned him a couple of times tonight. The last couple of weeks, his targets have looked like he got 6 in week 3, 7 in week 4, and then 12 last week. As Raul stated earlier, a lot of it's coming in garbage time, but the Jets' defense is so bad this year that I see that not changing. They're going to have to keep throwing it to keep up. And he's become that established second target for Justin Fields behind Garrett Wilson. This week, Surtain is going to be on Wilson. If he's locked up like I anticipate he will be, Fields is going to have to look somewhere else, and Taylor is going to be that security blanket, short area stuff, just third down stuff. So go pick him up. We always talk about how weak tight end is. The guys that we like to count on have either been hurt or underperforming. So get him when you can. He's still available. He's still available in a lot of leagues. So go and scoop him up.
Oh, is Mike frozen?
Yeah, that's what he looked like.
I think
Okay,
Mike's
now I'm back.
frozen.
All right, I am back. All right, so I'm going to throw up the reason I wanted you or Jordan to go first for the chat. I'm going to throw this question up, and we'll all answer it, but I'll read it out loud because it's a 3-part question. I'm assuming the second part is Mason Taylor. That's why I wanted him to go first. Well, let's answer it piece by piece. So Sutton, Myers, Keenan Allen, or DeAndre Swift. PPR, pick one.
Cortland Sutton. For me.
Yeah, but I have to go Sutton.
I agree.
I want to say something. I was thinking Keenan Allen just because of the Dolphins matchup, but AJ Terrell might be on Sutton. Yeah, Sutton. He's been balling. Yes, Sutton's been balling.
I can look up the cornerback matchup if I have to. And then Kyle Pitts or Mason Taylor?
That's wicked.
I know
Pitts,
who I'm picking.
Pitts versus the Bills and Taylor versus the Broncos. Broncos, like we said.
Yeah, I want to say Taylor just because Pitts has never really been trustworthy in 4 years.
Well,
I also want to go Taylor unless you're in a very lopsided projection, because I think Pitts' ceiling is higher than Mason Taylor's. But most of the outcomes, I would take Mason Taylor.
Yeah, I would put Pitts a couple spots ahead of Taylor, but it's close. We also have a start-sit show Sunday morning, so if you want to come back and
because we should check
again.
on. Yeah, because Jamie, I think one thing for this is also whether Darnell Mooney is going to be healthy this week.
Yeah,
because he left last game after like one catch.
Well, yeah, and that's going to depend. The Darnell Mooney situation has been kind of up and down all season.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to bring up real quick, I just wanted to get this up so I can bring it up, make sure. According to fantasy points schedule adjusted fantasy points per game allowed. So who was Atlanta going against?
The Bill. No. Atlanta's playing.
Atlanta's playing the Bills. Oh yeah, but never mind.
Cortland Sutton. Oh, actually, that's a good point. Sutton's like going up against Sauce. So
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I got them mixed up. No,
Okay,
yeah,
so
Cortland Sutton for sure.
okay, so even for the other matchup, so Denver's going against the Jets, right? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so according to fantasy points, Denver has the 1, 2, 3, 4, has the sixth most advantageous. No, I'm looking at it the other way. Um, so the Jets is towards the middle, but I will say this: Buffalo is the hardest according to the schedule adjusted. Buffalo is the hardest against tight ends. So according to that, I would go Mason Taylor, but I would agree with Raul and Jamie. This is a question that needs to be answered later in the week, with depending on who the personnel is. And now, Raul, I'm going to have you go with your waiver wire and answer this question at the same time.
Absolutely. We teed it up earlier, talked about the Dolphins, D, about the Omar and Hampton news, and now it's time for actionable advice. And guys, I don't know. I have no clue, but let me break it down for you. Seems to be two options: Hassan Haskins or Kimani Vidal. Hassan Haskins has been the first to enter. Vidal barely had a snap while Hampton was healthy. It was mainly Hassan Haskins. Kimani Vidal was also the one playing late into the fourth quarter. And alongside Trey Lance randomly popped up on my TV on Sunday. I was pretty shocked there. You know, to break it down, even I guess prospect or player profile wise, Hassan Haskins is the big guy. He's got goal line experience. Even with the Chargers, even last year, while J.K. Dobbins was healthy, Hassan Haskins would pop up on the goal line. He got 2 rush touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown. Kimani Vidal has like that kind of niche prospect pedigree. So if you want to impress all your Twitter friends, go get Kimani Vidal. He is a better pass catcher. So maybe in PPR, I would lean to Vidal. In half PPR or certainly standard, I would lean to Haskins. Hassan Haskins did go to Michigan, and Jim Harbaugh is that kind of guy to lean on his trustworthy generals. So if I had to pick just one, as much as I hate to say it, I think I would go with Hassan Haskins. Most of my leagues are half PPR, so I'll go with the guy who I think can get me the touchdown. For my dynasty sickos out there, especially for the ones that have zero fab, if you have a space, go maybe stash a Gus Edwards, a little sneaky little Gus Edwards.
I knew you were going there.
Greg Roman reunion could happen at any point, but if I had to pick one from the guys who are on the team, give me Hassan Haskins right now, as gross as it does feel.
Jordan, will you answer that question?
I agree with the things that Raul said, but I think a lot of my leagues are PPR, full PPR, so I would go with Vidal. I also think he's more explosive. So, and if we're talking about them leaning on the pass game more, which we all anticipate, Vidal might be more useful for what they're going to do offensively. This is kind of reminded me, not quite the same, but like the DeMarcado, Michael Carter situation. Haskins was playing more, but then when the injury happened, they needed the other guy more. So I feel like that could be the situation here. I would put in a claim for both of them, and if you can get both of them, that's fine. That way you have one or the other. But if I had to choose one, I would go with Vidal, just for me personally, because all my leagues are like full PPR.
Jamie, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Jordan. I'm going to go with Hank Aaron's nephew. He's just way too explosive. We saw his first ever touch went for 50-yard touchdowns. So I'm going to rather bank on that rather than random short yards and goal line carries.
All right. So I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to put it up, and we'll do this. Need waiver help. I lost James Conner, Eckler, and Hampton. Do I pick up Kareem Hunt, Haskins, or Vidal? I also got offered Michael Carter for Travis Hunter. My current running backs are Scataboom, Vishal Tootin. If your only running backs now are Scatterboo, Tootin, and Kendre Miller, please tell me this is dynasty, even though I don't think it is. I'm going to give my opinion first. To me, this is a no-brainer. Pacheco's dead. Kareem Hunt's not. I'm going Kareem Hunt for my personal thing because I think the Chargers, even though Kareem Hunt might not give you the every week, the Chargers I think is too convoluted to over Kareem Hunt, and I don't know about the trade. I don't know about the Carter, like Jordan said earlier today. Carter's going to have, as long as DeMarcado keeps fumbling the ball at the half-yard line, Carter is going to keep getting the workload. So maybe that is a good thing because we all know in fantasy football, workload is king. What do you guys think? Roll.
Yeah, I mean, we just had the discussion, but honestly, Kareem Hunt, just for this week, up against the Detroit Lions and what should be a high-scoring game, I could easily see him have like that 1 yard touchdown. So honestly, yeah, like Kareem Hunt this week might be the better play compared to the uncertainty, even though we talked at length about the matchup. Man, Michael Carter for Travis Hunter is just one of those deals that sounds like it could go horrendously wrong, but given the situation, man, you need to get a running back in. I'd love to know like the rest of your wide receiver room, but Hunter is currently unstartable, so maybe try and float him around the league for a running back you like a little bit more. But guys, I wouldn't even hate taking this Michael Carter deal because it does kind of look like a desperate situation.
Jordan.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like out of Hunt, Haskins, and Vidal, outside of this week, Vidal might have the most
Mhm.
value to me. So I might go there. Kareem Hunt, just having a bank on him scoring a touchdown, is just sickening to me as somebody who had invested in Pacheco. But that aside, the Michael Carter for Travis Hunter, yeah, like Raul said, we would like to know what the other receivers are, but not knowing that and looking at the rest of your running back room, definitely would take that trade. Travis Hunter isn't startable, almost not even rosterable, in like depending on how big your league is. So you're not playing him. You can't trust him to play him. So give me Michael Carter, somebody that you can use because you can't. Tootin and Kendre aren't even starters, so get you another starter. Pick you up somebody else off of waivers. You'll have like a service. Okay. Yeah, you can do that trade.
Yeah. My wide receivers are Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, Rasheed Rice, who's coming back
Yeah.
in 2 weeks, Troy Franklin, Trey Tucker, and Hunter. Yeah, you can do that. If it's start three, you get Justin Jefferson, DK, and Troy Franklin. Once Rasheed gets back, then it's Justin Jefferson, DK, and Rasheed. Jamie, will you answer this question? And then I have another question for you before you give your take.
All right, so I am definitely going to trade Michael Carter for Hunter. You need a running back. And as for the Hunt over Vidal Haskins, this week I am going Hunt. I have Pacheco and Hunt both over Haskins and Vidal this week. So just to put it in a little perspective for you, I would go Hunt.
All right.
But I do like Jordan's long term take. Yeah, Vidal
Yeah.
would be your long term.
Long term, yeah. All
Most
right.
upside.
Before your waiver wire of the week,
What is that?
Jamie, where do you have Mr. Dylan Gabriel ranked this week?
How many people are on bye?
4.
Two,
No, 2. So there's 30.
two teams.
There's 30 starting quarterbacks.
So I'd probably put him 29 because Cooper Rush I'm not going to put over Gabriel.
Are you starting? I'm going to give you a couple scenarios.
Okay.
Spencer Rattler or Dylan Gabriel.
I would go Rattler. I would also go Joe Flacco if he starts
Cam
over
Ward.
Gabriel. Oh, Cam Ward. Yeah, I'm going Cam Ward.
Okay. That's all I needed.
Like the only person that I would start, or the only person I wouldn't start, would be Cooper Rush over Dylan Gabriel.
Geno Smith.
Oh.
Yeah. Give me Gino.
Guys, Gabriel did honestly.
He
I was
didn't
kind of
play
impressed.
that
He
bad.
didn't play that bad.
But it's against Pittsburgh with them
Yeah,
coming off of a bye week, and then the
I
pass
know.
rush. I mentioned it earlier with Highsmith coming back.
you're absolutely right. But I would give some flowers to Dylan Gabriel in his first career start in London against Brian Flores' defense. I think he deserves just a little bit of flowers and praise.
So, Jamie,
He
Jordan
did-
brought up a tight end.
Yes.
There's another tight end that you want to bring up. Go ahead.
So
Floor is yours.
depending on your league size, I would go after like a Theo Johnson or Mason Taylor that Jordan talked about. But in deeper leagues, I would look at Kate Otten. He's only 9% owned. He's got that sneaky upside people are sleeping on, and he's seen red zone work in the past. And when the Bucks actually need him, he's reliable and his targets can spike. So now he's got a nice run coming up. If you look at the next 3 games, he's got the Niners, the Lions, and the Saints, all solid matchups for the tight end position. So yeah, he hasn't done much all year, but that's why he's sitting on your waivers. And if you're desperate, go ahead and pick him up because in PPR leagues, he's that kind of guy that can quietly drop 15 points in the next 3 straight weeks.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so Evan has a question piggybacking off his hunt to Haskins Vidal. He says, "Would you drop Tootin for Haskins to try and get both Haskins and Hunt?"
No, I want Tootin.
No, I want to keep Tootin.
Yeah,
If anything, Tunin's the kind of guy that I wouldn't mind including in your trade now. Like we don't know your record, we don't know what the league is like, but like Tunin is still not startable, high upside. Someone in your league is gonna want Bashal Tunin. So if you can get a starting running back, I wouldn't mind using him as a chip, just given the current state of that room.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's it on those. Yes, it is. All right, it's been a great show. I know my rants were a little long-winded, but when I get rolling, there's no stopping me. All right, we got a couple more here. Oh, what's this? Oh, he's just asking. He just wants to know thoughts. Okay. Drake May, Justin Herbert, Gibbs, Chase Brown, Jordan Mason, Rico Dowdle, JSN, Ladd, Ricky Pearsall, Rasheed Rice, Travis Hunter, Keon Coleman, Tucker Craft, Mason Taylor. Let me know thoughts, 12. He's just asking what we think of his team.
I don't mind it. Probably could use. Well, you'll get Rasheed Rice back. So besides that, I mean, it's a solid team.
Yeah. If Chase Brown gets a boost with Flacco,
Mhm.
then you'll really be rolling.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the only thing is if you can somehow upgrade one of those running backs, you have like an excess of tight end now with Mason Taylor, who we all like. You are gonna have like one, without knowing how many flex spots, one too many great wide receiver, and maybe there's some way to upgrade that running back. That's probably the only thing I would do. But great team.
If Chuba is out this week again and Rico Dowdle has a good game, sell him with one of the tight ends to upgrade.
Yeah, and wait till he has a good game this week because he is going against his old team, and he's already said that if he gets the chance, he wants to run all over Dallas. So last question for now until someone else puts another one up. Meatball puts up, how much fab should I use percentage-wise on AJ Barner? I need a third tight end for my FFPC best ball. I know this is a big money league.
So I'm guessing there's not much out there
Yep.
for tight ends. Maybe like 4%, 3%. I wouldn't drop too much.
No, I'd probably go 5 just to keep it
5,
safe.
yeah.
Just to make sure you get him. He's starting to get more targets the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. But I would say that 38, 35 game is out of the norm for what we should expect from Seahawks, that usually will have a great defense and time control on the ball. But he's a good player. He's a good player.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Like I said, it's been a great show. Let's get it ready for outros. Raul.
Yeah, awesome show, Mike. Thanks to you, Jamie, and Jordan. Yet again, thanks to all our viewers, and of course for your questions. We're getting in the swing of things, guys. Like just hitting a third of the season. I'm really loving doing the show with all of you guys. So yeah, thanks everyone, and tune in next week. That's it for me.
Yeah, same. Good show. Appreciate all the trade questions. Love those. Keep them coming. Justin Herbert, I'm counting on you this week, bro. I gotta be right for once, so I can come in next week and not be ashamed of myself. But looking forward to this weekend, starting on Thursday night. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, you can find us every Tuesday right here on the cheat sheet. Wednesday night, me and Raul will be on a Dynasty Six Pack doing our Dynasty show. And right after that, we have a special guest this week at the IDP Center. It's the Going for Two's very own, the Doctor, James Ferretti. So join us at 10:15 at the IDP Center and ask all your injury questions.
Awesome. Great show. I'm going to keep it nice and short. You guys know where to find me. I'll be here next week with the guys. Hopefully, you win all your lineups. Have a great night, everyone. See you next week, and peace out.